We've all seen the videos, the ultra-smooth drone shots gliding over pristine canyons at sunrise, the perfectly empty city streets, the curated perfection of the American road trip. It's a powerful promise, but this is the reality of chasing those icons. The marketing leaves out the dense crowds, the gridlocked traffic, and the sheer physical friction required to move through the country's most famous zip codes. Travel campaigns assume you have unlimited patience and perfect conditions. On the ground, you are operating with hard limits, a fixed budget, and exactly 2 weeks of paid time off. We evaluate a framework for your travel return on investment. On the left, your inputs, dollars spent and hours burned. On the right, the experiential output. If costs exhaust your resources, the inputs crush the output gauge, yielding a negative return. Surviving the US top 10 means tuning out the aesthetic hype. You have to treat your destination choice as a strict logistical calculation. Consider the urban hypercenters, Newark, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. Their primary value proposition is density. You can cross a dozen world-famous landmarks off your list in a single afternoon. That density demands a massive premium. The baseline financial burn rate for a hotel room and 3 meals a day is at the absolute top of the market. Navigating between those locations introduces extreme transit friction. That friction leads straight to tourist trap disillusionment. You sit in gridlock for an hour and pay a premium for parking, only to realize the iconic sign is just small white letters on a distant, inaccessible hill. Compare that to high-yield urban assets. You can walk right up to the Jefferson Memorial, free of charge, with immediate, open physical access to the architecture. But even historically essential urban icons have physical limits. Many legacy structures were never built for modern volume, meaning your experience is often filtered through chain-link fences and hard security perimeters. These cities offer unmatched cultural access. However, they demand the absolute highest tolerance for sensory overload and financial drain to walk away with a positive return. On the opposite end of the spectrum are nature giants, like the Grand Canyon and Yellowstone. The draw here is scale-defying beauty and the promise of complete isolation. But look at this map. This overlays a standard national park driving route onto a European country. The hidden cost is their massive geographic footprint. You will spend a large percentage of your limited vacation days strapped into a rental car. Because basic infrastructure is scarce inside these borders, securing a bed or a campsite requires rigid planning, often 6 to 12 months in advance. While the landscapes are vast, the actual visitor infrastructure is highly concentrated. Everyone is funneled into the exact same viewing ledges and parking lots, instantly compromising that promised isolation. The nature giants deliver the highest authentic experiential return in the country, provided you accept that logistics and driving will consume a massive share of time. Then we have the manufactured ecosystems, the Orlando theme parks and the Vegas Strip. These are massive, closed-loop entertainment zones, deliberately walled off from standard civic infrastructure. The transaction here is simple. You pay a massive, premium upfront capital cost, and in exchange, you entirely outsource all logistical friction. The output is highly engineered dopamine. Food, transit, and entertainment are seamlessly integrated. Every variable is controlled, and the experience is entirely predictable. But that predictability requires a trade-off, the complete surrender of spontaneity. Navigating these zones effectively means adhering to rigid digital scheduling algorithms to secure your access to rides or dinner reservations. These ecosystems are highly efficient machines for guaranteed entertainment. They are ideal if you are willing to trade capital for absolute control, but they offer zero authentic discovery. Because of these extreme logistical differences, a universal top 10 list does not work. If we look at this matrix, we can map out a routing system based entirely on the constraints you bring to the table. If you are a first-timer with high capital and low tolerance for planning friction, this path routes you straight to the urban hypercenters. The cultural significance of those world-famous landmarks validates your high financial input. If you are a logistics-bound family focused on predictability, the matrix blocks off the urban hubs and routes you to the manufactured ecosystems. Paying that massive premium is justified because it acts as a necessary fee to eliminate transit variables. And if you are an authentic explorer with a high tolerance for effort, your route goes exclusively to the nature giants. Your willingness to log long hours behind the wheel validates the heavy transit input. A bad vacation is rarely the fault of the destination itself. It happens when you fail to match your personal baseline for logistical tolerance with the specific inputs a destination requires. There is one final rule for the value-driven optimizer. If you try to cross multiple categories on a single trip, mixing a major city with a remote national park, the compounded transit friction will destroy your overall return on investment. You cannot allow heavily stylized social media imagery to override practical, grounded planning. The definitive American vacation is not achieved by chasing the most famous photograph. It is built by investing your finite time and capital in a place where the on-the-ground reality perfectly aligns with your personal constraints.